Radio and ESPN News, 250 plus markets across the United States of America, plus ESPN Radio on Sirius XM Channel 80, plus ESPN Radio simulcast over the live national television airwaves of ESPN News. Number to call up as always is 888-SAY-ESPN. That's 888-729-3776. The Stephen A. Smith Show is being brought to you by Indeed, used by over 3 million businesses for hiring. Post a job today at Indeed.com/hire. Time for Straight Talk, brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless, best phones, best networks, no contracts. You know what? The hell with Kevin Durant. The hell with Kawhi Leonard. The hell with Kyrie Irving. The hell with everybody. I mean, what about Klay Thompson? Now, obviously, I'm only playing around when I say the hell with those guys because we're talking about very elite players who are superstars and any team would be lucky to have, particularly a team like the New York Knicks, because that's where my interest lies, and that's where I'm opening today's show. I'll get into the Rams being in the Super Bowl. I'll get into this being the anniversary of Kobe's 81-point explosion on the Toronto Raptors and my man Jalen Rose. I'll get into all of that a little bit later on as the show progresses. I got a lot of stuff to get into today. Trust you me. But did you see it? Did you see it? Did you see what transpired last night as Klay Thompson for the Golden State Warriors, the reigning two-time defending NBA champions, put on a shooting clinic, a shooting exhibition, reminded everybody that he is one of the top 5 shooters in the history of basketball. That's right, I said it. And for all you young whippersnappers that wouldn't know anything about a Jerry West to a downtown Freddie Brown to a Ricky Pierce to a Dale Ellis, you could throw Allen Houston into the equation. You can throw Ray Allen and Reggie Miller into the equation. You can throw Jeff Hornacek into the equation. You can throw the great Steve Kerr with his shooting self into the equation. John Paxson, add him in the mix too. Craig Hodges, blackballed from the NBA for reasons we will not get into. But what a great shooter he was for Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls in the early heyday years of Phil Jackson coaching them to championships. You can pick any shooter you want. But without question, Steph Curry is the greatest shooter in the history of basketball. Period. End of discussion. There is nobody that is better than Steph Curry. But I bring up his name ahead of Klay Thompson for one reason and one reason only. If we took away the shot off the dribble and we simply talked about rolling off the screens of picks, or set up shots, you could actually make the argument that Klay Thompson is a better shooter than Steph Curry. Now, all around total, in terms of shooting from the left, shooting from the right, shooting from the top of the key, shooting from either wing, shooting off the dribble, shooting standing still, shooting on the run, it does not matter. Steph Curry's the greatest shooter we have ever seen in the history of basketball without question. But if you simply talk about spot-up shooting or curling off picks and screens and pulling up, I challenge anybody to definitively tell me that there's a better shooter on the planet than Klay Thompson, definitively. Because only one other person comes to mind, and that would be Steph Curry. I throw Ray Allen and Reggie Miller into the equation in terms of set shots. I do that. But Klay Thompson's right there. Top 5 shooter all time. Take into account the fact that he's 6'7". Take into account the fact that he can defend multiple positions. Take into account the fact that even in this day and age, as a third wheel, he still does what he does. And doesn't it make you ashamed of yourself that you were acting up a few weeks ago when Klay Thompson was in his slump? I said it then, I say it now. I have never been worried about Klay Thompson. Ever. About his shot. I don't give a damn about some slump. Him on an off day is a better shooter than most folks on their on days. He's that great. He's that great. This is Klay Thompson, baby. And if I'm the Los Angeles Lakers, let me be the first to say that while I have to look at Kawhi Leonard because he's too great overall. I have to look at Kevin Durant because he's too great of an all-around talent overall. I got news for you. I think a legitimate argument could be made that whether it's the Knicks or the Lakers, that the person who should be targeted first is Klay Thompson. I don't know if the other dudes are obtainable. I personally believe that Kawhi Leonard is going to the Clippers, and I'm scared to death if he ends up going to Brooklyn, because then that means the Knicks are toast. I can't see them getting a Klay Thompson because guess what? If you're in Northern California winning championships with Steph Curry as your sidekick, why the hell would you go to the Knicks? Particularly when you're a talent that needs help because you're not somebody that's a number one option. But if I'm Klay Thompson and LeBron James is in L.A., and I'm Magic Johnson and Rob Pelinka, and I have an opportunity to compromise the Golden State Warriors by taking away Klay Thompson and getting him on a Lakers franchise where his daddy once donned that uniform, excuse me, I'm going to go for that. And I got something else to tell all of y'all. I've said it on several occasions, and I'll say it again. There is nothing that I find to be more blasphemous than a lack of praise and love and adulation we have been willing to accord to Klay Thompson when you consider the fact that us right here at ESPN, his daddy works here, does an outstanding job as a radio host, 710 ESPN LA, right here in LA, right there in LA. You got Michael Thompson, who, by the way, helped the Lakers win championships. That's his son. He ain't some damn distant relative, some second or third cousin from your stepbrother or somebody. I'm making fun because that's what Jamie Foxx, known as Cleveland A. Smith, calls me. You my twin on my stepfather's side. Hilarious. That's where that came from. But in all seriousness, you Michael Thompson, you work for ESPN. How is this man's son not far more recognized? I don't say it enough. I mean, I literally have in my mind Klay Thompson wondering whether or not, is he a better shooter than Ray Allen? Is he a better shooter than Reggie Miller? He might be number 2 all time behind Steph Curry. I know Kyle Korver's a great shooter. I know Steve Kerr was great. I know John Paxson was great. But they needed a little bit more help than Klay Thompson. Ray Allen is the smooth stroke out of UConn. And then in Milwaukee and Seattle. I mean, all of these places. Ray Allen was special. Reggie Miller, nothing but love for my brother. But Klay Thompson might be the second greatest shooter in NBA history. It needs to be a discussion. Can we definitively omit that possibility? I don't think we can. And when you have that kind of shooter, and you're in Los Angeles where everybody's clamoring for LeBron James to get help and alluding to Klay Thompson being one of those guys, for him to put on that kind of show where he ended up hitting 17 of his 20 shots from the field, 10 straight three-pointers, finishing with 44 points in a rout. I mean, this was a 10-point game at halftime. And before I had an opportunity to pass gas, the Lakers were down by 30. Poor LeBron James sitting on a bench with some no-name I don't even recognize trying to talk to him. Not recognizing that the star who can't play yet ain't interested in talking to you when the team is down by 30. With Klay Thompson pulling up from 30. Why want to talk to you? You can't make this up. And I'll tell you something else, and I'm going to go a step further. Y'all can say what y'all want. Y'all can call me all types of crazy. This is one of the other reasons why, If you're the Lakers, you need to trade Brandon Ingram for some equitable assets and then add Carmelo Anthony to the roster on a minimum wage salary. Y'all are just dismissing Carmelo Anthony. I'm not doing that. He has lost a step. He is not what he used to be. He's not the career 24-point per game scorer. I get all of that. I understand it. But you can't tell me that with Carmelo Anthony on the same court as LeBron James, getting him open shots, that Carmelo Anthony can't average 15 a night for you on about 44% shooting. I know he shot 40% over the last 2 years. I know he was shooting at 30% a clip from three-point range. I know it hasn't been quite impressive. I know he's lost a step. But I think you have to consider the systems that he was in and the fact that he's not what he used to be. If anybody can make up for that, it's LeBron James. How many times have we seen LeBron James make people look greater? What are the Cleveland Cavaliers now without LeBron James? Last year, they were in the finals. How did Tristan Thompson and the rest of the crew look with LeBron James? How do they look without him? I think these are things you have to pay attention to. And I don't think it can be summarily dismissed. And I don't think for 1 second that you can dismiss what LeBron James could do and, more importantly, would want to do for Carmelo Anthony. LeBron James went to the Lakers to speak up on Melo's behalf because he knows that Melo got screwed over by the Houston Rockets. This is not casting aspersions on Daryl Morey or Mike D'Antoni or anything like that. I have profound respect for those guys, especially Daryl Morey. I'm simply saying when I say the word screwed over, as incendiary as that may sound, here's all I mean by that. D'Antoni never really wanted Melo. Melo never really had a chance in Houston. He's boys with Chris Paul. He and Chris Paul are actually tighter than both of them are with D-Wade and LeBron. Because D-Wade and LeBron is their own clique. Melo and CP3 are their own clique, even though the four of them are all friends. And in Chris Paul's case, it's godfather to LeBron's children. I mean, these are brothers. So I'm not trying to dismiss that. I'm simply saying that as tight as D-Wade and LeBron are, CP3 and Melo are. Did the Houston Rockets consult with consult with CP3 before letting Melo go? No, they didn't care. Which to me speaks to Chris Paul needing to get healthy and going out there and performing so he can have the cachet his greatness warrants. But your greatness don't mean a damn thing if you're not available to display it. And that's his problem. In the case of Melo, let's face reality. Let's look at it for what it is. Melo is a guy, two things you could criticize Melo for. The money appeared more important than winning at times because clearly he went after the money. Denver first, then New York, then after. He should have been a member of the Big Three. It was never supposed to be Bosh. I've told y'all this many times. It was never supposed to be Bosh. It was supposed to be D-Wade, LeBron, and Melo. But Melo took the 5-year guaranteed dollars from Denver, whereas Chris Bosh with D-Wade and LeBron all signed deals in 2007 that gave them an out 2010. Melo didn't do that because he wanted the guaranteed dollars. So he made the mistake chasing the money. But also, I think when we look at LeBron and the physical freak of nature that he is, Melo at 6'8", 240, while he wasn't fat and sloppy, bottom line is he could have taken care of himself physically better. Because I'm not seeing an eradication in the game of Melo. I'm seeing Melo not be in the same physical specimen that he once was because he didn't take better care of his body. That combining with the transition that we've been witnessing with the game and his willingness to hold the basketball and go one-on-one ISO, I think has compromised his success. And I think Melo is at a stage of point right now where two places are ideal for him. Philadelphia, because Jimmy Butler and Joel Embiid, and to a significantly lesser degree, J.J. Redick, needs another person that can shoot the perimeter shot for them because Ben Simmons ain't going to do that for you. That's the one thing he's not going to do for you. Ben Simmons is the second coming of LeBron in the making. He is special. I love Ben Simmons. but he doesn't shoot and can't shoot perimeter shots yet. So you need an additional shooter in Philadelphia. But I'm told Philadelphia, it wasn't really, at least weeks ago, they weren't interested in Melo. I don't know if that's changed. Even though I was at the game last night and didn't speak to them about that, I don't know if that's changed, but weeks ago they weren't interested in Melo. LA is a different ball game because LeBron, having told Melo he needs to be in shape and ready to go if and when called upon, still has to convince Magic and Pelinka to do it. It's not so much that LeBron, from what I'm told, desperately wants Melo in LA. It's that he believes Melo got screwed over in Houston and wants to salvage his reputation and beyond in LA, and is willing to help him do that so long as Melo's willing to put in the necessary work to make that happen. Any way you slice it, I'm here to tell y'all, don't come to me talking to me like Melo is some scrub. Melo is not a number one option. Melo cannot carry the load anymore because he didn't take as good of a care of himself physically as he should have. But Melo can still play. Melo can still ball. Melo can still score. A couple of games this year, of the 10 games that he played in Houston, I think he scored over 20 like 4 of those games. A couple of games he had over 25. I'm sorry. If you're a scrub, you can't do that. So if he were in L.A. with LeBron playing with him, LeBron's going to get him open shots. Don't tell me that Melo can't make some of them. I don't believe that. I believe that Melo can come to L.A., average 15 points a game, and contribute to the Los Angeles Lakers. And I actually think he's a better fit than Brandon Ingram, even though Brandon Ingram is no scrub. He's considerably younger, obviously with a stronger upside because of it. I just don't think L.A. is the ideal situation for Brandon Ingram. LeBron needs shooters. Josh Hart, Kuzma, Melo, people like that. That's what he needs. To pair with the Stevensons and Rondos and Tyson Chandlers. Zubac the center. Zubac can play. I like him. But you need another shooter. And I think Rob Pelinka and Magic should get him, Melo, and I think that would be Melo's very last chance. If it doesn't work out for Melo in L.A., Melo needs to retire. But I don't think he's there yet. I believe enough in Melo. What about you? 888-SAY-ESPN. It's 888-729-3776. I'm telling you right now, of course Durant and Kawhi Leonard are better, but I'm looking at Klay Thompson. Could you imagine Klay Thompson with LeBron? If I'm the Los Angeles Lakers, I'd go all out to get Klay Thompson. Why waste your energy on Kevin Durant, who talked about it being toxic to play with LeBron? Why waste your energy pursuing Kawhi Leonard when he don't want the glitz and the glamour? He either wants a whole country at his disposal being the number one option in Toronto, or he's willing to go to the Clippers. Why waste your time with Kawhi? If I'm the Los Angeles Lakers, I go after Kawhi. If I'm the New York Knicks, I'm wondering what the hell are my options. Because from everything I'm hearing, you ain't going to get KD, you ain't going to get Kawhi, you ain't going to get Klay. Kyrie Irving, you might have to, overpay and give him the super max. You give him the max. But from what I'm being told, he doesn't want to leave Boston. And oh, by the way, I'm looking at Brooklyn, who blew out Sacramento by 29 last night. They're 2 games over 500. LA, I got a very interesting question for y'all. How you feeling about D'Angelo Russell? Oh, him diming out Swaggy P with his stupid, immature nonsense, videotaping him without Swaggy P knowing, costing him his relationship with Iggy Azalea, by the way. We held a lot against D'Angelo Russell for that. I got news for you. Hell with all of that. D'Angelo Russell is playing well. D'Angelo Russell looks a hell of a lot better than Lonzo Ball. So the Los Angeles Lakers got rid of D'Angelo Russell. Not only is Lonzo Ball not living up to what you would expect from a number 2 overall pick, not only does it look like a mistake by the Lakers, who passed up on Jason Tatum and De'Aaron Fox and Markkanen and Dennis Smith Jr. and Donovan Mitchell to grab Lonzo Ball, but they also moved D'Angelo Russell away because they knew they were going to get Lonzo Ball. So that's another player you can add to the list. I got news for you. This ain't as simple as everybody's making it out to be. D'Angelo Russell and the Brooklyn Nets. Ladies and gentlemen, they're going to be a play in free agency. I got to look at it. Let me tell you something right now. I'm literally at this point with Sean Marks and what Kenny Atkinson is doing as a coach, with the talent and how hard they play and the way they look, playing the way that they play. I got to tell y'all something right now. The only issue I got with the Brooklyn Nets is the traffic on Atlantic Avenue. If the player can somehow manage to work their way through that, dealing with that nasty traffic in Brooklyn, I got news for you. The Brooklyn Nets are an incredibly attractive commodity. New York Knicks got a problem. They got a problem. Who's going to come? All this noise about Fizdale and these boys. I love David Fizdale. He needs more talent to work with. But we at a point right now where if you're the New York Knicks, the only thing right now that seems your best option, free agency ain't even your best option. You know what the Knicks' best option is right now? Losing practically every damn game on purpose the rest of the way so you can position yourself to give yourself the best shot at getting the #1 overall pick, which is Zion Williamson. That's it. That's it. Outside of that, I don't know what to say about the Knicks. I really, really don't. 888-SAY-ESPN. That's 888-729-3776. You're listening live to the Stephen A. Smith Show, ESPN Radio, ESPN News. Remember, I'm going to get into Super Bowl 53. It's the New England Patriots against the Los Angeles Rams. I'm going to get into that next. Keyshawn Johnson, former NFL standout, #1 overall pick of the New York Jets, champion with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, outstanding NFL analyst for the family here at ESPN, especially doing a great job with the morning drive as a morning drive host in L.A., 710 ESPN L.A. He will be on the show with me at the top of hour number 2 of the Stephen A. Smith Show right here on ESPN Radio and ESPN News. So stick around. Don't touch that dial. I got more coming your way. By the way, when you're hiring, you don't want to waste time sorting through dozens of irrelevant resumes, do you? You want an efficient way to get to a short list of qualified candidates. That's why you need Indeed.com. Post a job in minutes, set up screening questions based on your job requirements, then zero in on qualified candidates using an intuitive online dashboard. Discover why 3 million businesses use Indeed for hiring. Post a job today at Indeed.com/hire. Search for greatness. Search Indeed. 888-SAY-ESPN's the number to call. 888-729-3776. You're listening live to Stephen A. ESPN Radio, ESPN News.
Learn what affects your credit scores and what you can do to improve them with Credit Karma. Maybe you need to dispute an error in your credit report, or you're paying too much interest. Credit Karma can help with that. Visit CreditKarma.com or download the app now. That's CreditKarma.com.